Hi everyone, it's Dr. Nancy. Today we are talking about just how important nutrition is to your overall whole body, your immune system, and your wellness plan. Well, we have all heard that the foods that we eat makes up about, 70 to 80% of the success of our plans, right? Well, maybe even 85%. Well, the fact is, if your fridge and your pantry and your mealtime habits are well stocked with foods that are good for you and not with the ones containing sugars and refined grains and solid fats and high levels of sodium, you can pretty much guarantee that all your hard work, sweating and working out, and the laundry that you're doing because of all your workouts, well, it's still not gonna get you to your best feeling and looking self, as it could if you made the right food choices. So here's an easy way to separate the best from the bad. My top 10 worst foods in your pantry. The first one is soda and sweetened beverages. Some of the worst foods in our pantries found in the United States and most modern societies are sodas, the bubblies, the pops, and other sweetened drinks because these contribute refined carbohydrate calories without any nutrients. They're dead calories, especially sweetened teas and energy drinks and pre-workout gunk. They all rival the sugar in soda, and 50 grams of sugar per 16-ounce bottle. You can see why, right? Number 2, high sugar, low fiber breakfast cereals. Cold cereals were among the top sources of added sugar for children between the ages of 2 and 8, according to a recent report. Now, cereal has refined grain and sugar as the first 2 ingredients. These are not gonna satisfy your hunger through the morning or 10 p.m. at night, right? It's not gonna give you the best bioavailable nutrients. Those need to come from whole foods like sprouted whole grains and nuts or fruit and even dried fruit, so X-nay on the cereal. The third is snack cakes and cupcakes. Now, snack cakes have 3 or 4 ingredients that we need to eat less of: refined flour and added sugars and saturated fat. The typical snack cake servings, such as 2 ho-hos or ding-dongs or Twinkies, these should just be words that are fun to say, not eat. All right, each of these contain 228 calories, 9 grams of saturated fat, 28 grams of sugar. Now keep in mind that 9 grams of saturated fat is half of the maximum daily amount of saturated fat recommended for someone eating about 1,800 calories a day, according to a 2010 dietary guideline. So you wanna move away from the ho-hos and the ding-dongs, all right? Number 4 is movie theater or mega butter microwavable popcorn. Now, the extra butter or the movie theater microwave popcorn choices are some of the last products that still have shocking amounts of trans fat in them, with a small serving of just 3 tablespoons of unpopped, containing about 2.5 grams of saturated fat and 5 grams of trans fat. Remember, we don't like trans fat. Now, each serving also adds in about 300 milligrams of sodium to your day's total. So easily you can take all of that out, just don't eat it. There are better options out there. Number 5, chips and Cheetos. You know, Cheetos. This popular snack group category are processed with gobs of fat and sodium and usually include refined grains. A 2-ounce bag, about this big, 2-ounce bag of chips or Cheetos usually adds more than 300 calories, 20 grams of fat, and over 450 milligrams of sodium. The worst part is that we tend to eat those way too much because just a 2 little ounce portion doesn't seem to satisfy our stomach, right? Did you know that potato chips act like sugar in the body? You're actually eating a sweet. High carbohydrate foods such as chips quickly turn into glucose in a fundamental way in your body, right into your bloodstream. So stay away from the chips and all of that fun potato stuff. Next up is packaged muffins and cereal bars. Now we know Pop-Tarts and cereal bars and muffins, they contain actually the same amount of sugar as your brand muffins, which contributes to about 30 grams of sugar per 4 ounce. Yeah, Weight Watchers muffins actually add 20 grams of sugar per 2.2 ounce muffin. And a small little Nutri-Grain bar, cereal bar that you should have in the morning, 13 grams of sugar. So you wanna stay away from those. They might sound healthy, but they're really not. Number 7 is crackers. They're easy to eat a lot of these bite-sized crunchy yumminess, but these crackers, they're held together by probably partially hydrogenated oils and fats, which are trans fats, and they're mostly undigested and processed in the body, and then it just leaves you feeling ugh. Next up, yeast breads made with refined flour. Now, yeast breads, from hot dog buns to Texas toast, we know what they are. They're made from really icky stuff, right? They made that worst list for 2 reasons. They're one of the biggest sources of refined flour in the typical American diet, and they're also the #1 source of sodium among the US population. Bet you didn't know that. So stay away from yeast breads. Go animal style, protein style, just lettuce. Number 9, store-bought cookies. I know, a little tear kind of shed from most of you. Store-bought cookies, especially the chocolate-coated ones. Grain desserts, which includes cookies, are a major source of added sugars, more than dairy desserts or candy, according to some report. Some commercial cookies are even higher in fat, higher in saturated fat and sugar than others, but they all usually start with, you guessed it, refined flour. The chocolate-coated cookies, I know, they're the good ones, the fun ones. They tend to have the most saturated fat, about 5 grams per 3 cookie servings, and the cookies are this big. Yeah, so you gotta stay away from those as well. Number 10, last but not least, canned soup and instant noodle cups. Some choices in the soup aisle have half a day's worth of sodium in just 1 serving. The US dietary guidelines recommend half the US population, including people aged 51 and older, and those of any age who have hypertension, diabetes, or chronic kidney disease, they actually reduce their sodium to 1,500 milligrams or lower a day. So pretty much stick to fresh, colorful vegetables, high in fiber, high in quality, lean proteins, unprocessed whole foods. You're gonna definitely look and feel more vibrant and energetic and lean and healthier. Your immune system is going to be through the roof. If you find that you do have any of these worst pantry items in your home, I may or may not have them, you have worked so hard, way too hard, to make it just go backwards. So you're good, just toss them out. That's it for today. This is Dr. Nancy. I will see you next time.